G'day guys, my name's Miles.
And my name's Fez.
And this is the...
And my name's Fez. And my name's Fez.
G'day guys, my name's Miles.
And my name is Fez.
And this is The Commodity, and today we're reacting to Australians are the richest people in the world.
You gave up on world.
Yeah, world was bad.
In the world.
In the world. This video was requested to us by Jamar. Thanks, Jamar. I think that's the first time I've seen you on our Discord suggestions. So thanks. Keep them coming.
How long ago did they suggest it?
On the 4th, 10 days ago.
So, yep. We're backed up a little bit.
A little bit. So guys, with that being said,
Constipated.
that's okay. Keep throwing some suggestions in our Discord. The link is in the description. It doesn't matter if you're from Australia, New Zealand,
Jamaica,
New Mexico,
Puerto Rico. Oh, we had somebody that commented
New
that was from Brunei.
Orleans. Yeah?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, we love Brunei.
Yeah, whoever wants to recommend some videos, throw them in our description. Again, the link's in the Discord. Guys, this video, did I say what it was? Yeah, I said it in an Australian accent. So yeah, you guys are the richest people in the world.
Wow.
So we're about to find out why. Because I want to know why.
Because they have a heck of a pay.
But you guys
gap
also have to
from
pay a lot of
us.
bills. So I know it evens out. This is just for entertainment purposes.
Pay a
But
lot of
I do
bills.
want to hear
What's that mean?
their cost of living is
Oh, yeah,
higher.
of course.
So,
Yeah,
but I do
absolutely.
want to, you know,
I don't
dig
think they
in
pay more bills
and
than we
learn.
do.
They don't pay more. They just pay more.
Oh, yeah? Thanks
Exactly.
for clearing that up.
Stupid.
God,
So,
why did I even ask?
guys, before we hop into this video, if you would, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. It truly helps them made out in getting these videos out to more people. Do you like what I did there? Also, if you would, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell notification icon. That way you guys can stay informed on our future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more and get an exclusive YouTube short shout out, go.
Shout out.
Hit the join button down below. So let's hop in and see why you guys are so darn rich.
Very,
3/4 of Australia is like, these dicks.
yeah. Why y'all got so much money?
We don't have any money either. So
No, they got money. What are you talking? That's the whole point of this video.
Welcome to the land down under.
Down under.
The land that the wealthiest citizens in the world call home.
World.
That's right. As of 2019,
did you ever see that video?
these
No.
guys. The
You never saw the video where the guy punches the kangaroo?
Uh-uh.
The kangaroo had his dog or some dog in a headlock.
Oh, I think I heard that story.
And
That's
so
an
the
old
guy
story.
runs up to the kangaroo and the kangaroo like bows up at him and he punches
He just punches it straight.
Right. As of
like, what the fuck?
2019,
And
these
the kangaroo
guys,
doesn't know what the hell
the
just
residents of
happened.
Australia are the wealthiest in
did you
the
just hit
world
me?
when disregarding micronations like Monaco or Liechtenstein. The average net worth of an Australian adult is $411,000 US. But what is more impressive?
I guarantee we're gonna get about 100 people in our comments saying bullshit.
Yeah.
Because
We broke.
I mean, let's be real. I'm sure we're not the only people that have a spending habit.
Right.
So to think that a bunch of people with 411 grand doesn't have a spending habit next to the ocean on top of that.
Yeah.
The majority lives next to the ocean. I know we're talking about a whole entire country, but still, statistically, more people live by the ocean.
Is that the median net worth, meaning the middle person from a lineup of richest to poorest of people in Australia, is $191,000 US, which means
I
that
didn't
this wealth
understand
is
what he just
actually
said.
That made
spread
no sense.
One lineup of rich is 411,000. The average net worth of an Australian adult is $411,000.
And that's just one adult?
But what is more impressive is that the median net worth, meaning the middle
Like, that's not even
person
a
from a
family?
lineup of richest to poorest
Wait,
people
this
in
doesn't make
Australia,
sense.
is $191,000 US, which means that this
So there's
wealth
an
is
average and a
actually
median?
spread.
That's what I'm
pretty
saying.
evenly,
That's what
and
median
that a regular
means.
Australian has a net.
Okay, I'm sorry that we're pausing it, but it said there's an average
In a
of
median.
411,000
$1,000,
and then there's a median.
which means
But isn't that the average?
yes. Well,
The median.
the middle class.
Yeah, that's
but that's typically
the average.
the average Joe.
All right, let's just listen.
Wealth is actually spread pretty evenly, and that a regular Australian has a net worth more than 3 times that of a regular US citizen. To top this all off, these wealthy Australians have also gone over 27 years without falling into a recession, avoiding even the global financial crisis of 2008
That is quite some
relatively
time.
unscathed.
Wow. That
So,
doesn't look
that
real.
is-
What is
That's
the
not
story
real.
here?
That's not moving.
Australia has always been a very well-developed country, but there must be more to this astronomical private wealth than just that.
It's got to be.
The first place that most people go to in explaining this is the Australian mining industry. Australia has been blessed with huge deposits of iron ore, coal, natural gas, and other
I've got a
valuable
lot of gas,
resources
too.
on its huge continent. Beyond this, its geographical location made it a perfect trading partner for exploding Asian economies in the region, with most of these materials being exported in raw form to countries like India,
It's
Japan,
true.
South
They're
Korea,
holding out on 'em.
and of course, China.
China.
They're holding out on China too, huh?
Oh, I thought it was they were holding out on Russia.
No. They were having that issue with China.
Oh, that's who it was. Well, I'm sure they're having that issue with Russia too. They are
lot of
an
people
ally,
are.
so
This
Yeah.
was a huge driver of exports in the Australian economy, and in 2018, Australia exported over $270 billion worth of raw materials to fuel the growth of these Asian economies.
Wow.
Mining in Australia
That's
has
crazy.
also meant opportunities for phenomenally high incomes for workers. An unskilled labourer working in the United States has an average income of about $47,000.
That sounds right.
On the other hand,
Yeah.
an unskilled labourer working in the mining industry in Australia can be paid as much as $150,000.
I'll be right back.
now
going to
let's be
Australia.
real. They should have compared apples to apples and not apples to oranges. I do not classify
A mining
to
position.
construction.
Yeah.
Construction is very hard labor and stuff,
But mining's tough.
but mining is on another level.
And you're
And we
putting
have
yourself-
miners in this country.
that are making good money. That
We also
will-
have adults that work in mines as well in this country.
Well, but we have minors and adults. But doing something like this is not the best for your lungs and stuff too, right?
I think I get the black lung, Papa.
And
So there are
that's
health
before
risks.
considering the skilled trades workers and
Seaman.
engineers who are also
no
being paid
man.
very generously to work in these mines. So this kind of sounds like we have answered the question.
Brisbane.
Australians have been blessed with a treasure chest of natural resources, and that has made them very rich.
Case
Well,
closed.
no, that's actually not it. Despite what most
That's
people
not
will tell you, mining in Australia doesn't actually make that much of an impact on the economy at all. It has definitely
Makes a pretty big impact.
doesn't actually make that much of an impact on the economy at all.
On the
Earth.
ground, though.
It has definitely helped. Please don't get me wrong. But it has not been the golden ticket to Australia's success. These amazing jobs are
Just
actually
tell us
very
what it
rare,
is.
and the mining sector in Australia only makes up about 3% of Australia's total workforce.
Wow.
That's actually a
Beyond
lot.
that, mining is
Well, less
not
than I
that big of a
thought,
deal
though.
in relation to the whole Australian economy. It only makes up about 7% of Australia's GDP,
See, I thought it was more.
falling well
Yeah, I
behind
thought it
bigger
was more
industries
too.
like services, construction, finance, and education.
Wow, that's a huge fall
Beyond
off.
this,
Yeah.
there was an
million
attempt
percent
made by the
services.
left-wing party in Australia to tax these mining companies for the extraction of these resources. Unfortunately, it went up against fierce lobbying from the mining industry.
Oh, it's not
and
just in the
was
US.
Ultimately,
That's good
never
to know.
passed.
Yeah.
Meaning that Australia lost a big opportunity to benefit
Is that a
further from their
burger?
treasure chest of resources.
That's what it looks like. My kind of place.
Okay, so mining has helped, but it really hasn't fully explained how Australians
money.
got so rich. So the next place that we should look is housing. If we ignore the spiders and the snakes and whatever this
Platypus?
monstrosity is, Australia is a
Is that
very
Perry?
safe, very clean
Such a
country
gorgeous
with
country.
great schools, great hospitals, and fantastic opportunities.
Platypi.
This makes Australia and its major cities like Sydney and Melbourne very popular for wealthy migrants. The Australian government even
Well,
has
we are
a
not.
very open immigration policy for migrants that have skills like medical practitioners or engineers, for migrants that are independently wealthy, and a student visa program for foreign students looking to study in Australian schools or universities. The rationale behind this
What does it
is
mean to be
that
independent, wealthy? Like, just have your own money?
You no longer live with your parents.
But
You're
you have
finally
money.
independent, and you got no independent wealthy usually just means that. Yeah, it's just you are a wealthy like not necessarily individual,
But for no
but
reason.
I would assume there's a reason to
Well,
your
he
wealth,
said-
whether you inherited it or.
Well, but he went over he said that. Listen,
Policy for migrants that have skills like medical practitioners or
they have
engineers,
things for people with
migrants that are
skills.
independently wealthy, and a student visa program for foreign
Yeah,
students
you're just a
looking
wealthy
to study
person.
in
They don't
Australian
mean, like-
schools or
But they have
universities.
things for you.
The rationale behind
specifically.
this is
Yeah,
that
lots
when
of stuff to
migrants
buy.
are already wealthy and skilled, they will come to the country and boost the economy. And this is true.
Okay.
Having foreign money spent in your country does boost
Well,
the
yeah,
economy.
it brings in money that
But
wasn't there.
There is one big side effect. Demand for housing to accommodate all of these new arrivals has skyrocketed. The surge in demand is compounded by a policy that the Australian government has called negative gearing. This is a policy that makes investing in real estate very tax efficient and has meant that investors would rather put their money into rental properties than the stock market. All of these housing issues compound to make the Australian property market one of the most expensive in the world. An average 4-bedroom family home in the Sydney metropolitan region will sell for well over 1.5 million US dollars. And in fact, all of these very average looking homes that you are seeing here
That's
have
insane.
sold for over $2 million within the last year. This
Wow.
has caused
Well, if
some
you're
major
worth
issues, with younger generations
411
effectively
grand.
being locked out of the property
did he
market because
do?
of the astronomically high prices. It has also meant that there have been serious issues in recent years.
Did they say median income and then medium or average wealth? Because now I think they actually said two different things.
I don't know.
Because if they said average wealth, that means that you might have about roughly. I'm not going to say exactly. Roughly $411,000 of liquid asset.
That'd be completely opposite from the United States then, because the average American makes like 40,000 and has like $5 in assets.
Yeah, even if you make $1 billion, you still got $5 in
Yeah.
assets.
with
Because
unscrupulous
we like to
builders
waste our
putting
money.
together
Yep.
very cheap apartment buildings to cash
To be
in
fair,
on
that's
this
what
property
helps the
boom as
economy, and our
quickly
economy
as
sucks
possible.
right now. So
Despite these negative side effects, what this
removed
has
that
meant for
last
the average
statement.
Australian is that if they had purchased a home for their family at any point in the last 40 years and just paid off their mortgage without making any other investments whatsoever, they would most likely have $1 million plus net worth today. This is not the only piece of the puzzle though. Soaring property prices and an economy that has been in the right place at the right time for the past 27 years is great. But the real secret to these Australians' hidden fortunes is the way that they save for retirement. In
for
1991,
one
the Australian
year.
government introduced the superannuation guarantee. This was a new law that mandated that employees had to contribute a certain percentage of their incomes to a retirement savings account. These accounts would be invested into the market, similar to pension funds in other countries.
Had to. So
But
it
the
was like
difference
forced.
here
That's not
was
bad
that
though.
it applied
Smart.
to all workers in Australia, with very, very few exceptions. This contribution is taken before
just like I was telling you yesterday, the problem with a lot of Americans is they don't mind like helping people out or helping themselves out by putting stuff in their 401k and retirements.
Right.
But it's when they're forced to do something is the issue.
Like, I think I would rather come out of like high school or college and go into the workplace and like off the bat already know this is getting deducted out of my paycheck every month.
Yeah, and I would be fine with that. You would be fine with that. But there's a huge population that would.
But the reason, like,
It's to help you out.
the reason why we're like that is because it's never been like that.
Right.
I'm sure whenever Australia first introduced the you have to put this money back, like we're taking this money out of your check for you. I'm sure Australians didn't take that well at first.
Right. Quite possibly.
And then also I didn't even think about the fact that Australia's market has boomed in the last 27 years. Prior to that, if you had a house, it probably was worth normal value.
Right.
And now that now that the economy is so good, that's another reason why net worth could be so high.
That's true. That is a very good
So-
point. Yeah, like your $100,000 house is now worth $400,000.
$1 million.
Yeah, $1 million, $2 million.
taxes, meaning that most Australians are actually pretty happy with this arrangement because it's a tax-efficient way to save for retirement. And for the most part, they don't really see it impacting their paycheck because everybody else is paying the same amount. Today, the contribution amount is a mandatory 9.5% of an employee's wage. It has been lower in the past, and there are plans to continue increasing it to as high as a 15% contribution.
Wow.
But that hasn't been
But you'll be
formalised yet.
retiring with
On top of this, employees have the option to
substance
contribute
in
more
their
to their
account.
superannuation accounts to take advantage of these very, very robust tax benefits. But let's imagine we take the average Australian worker today with an average income of 82,436 Australian dollars.
Okay, so that's the average. He said, let's take an average Australian.
individual. But
So-
that's not what happened to these averages.
They're
The
all over
USD is
place.
way different.
With an average income of accounts to take advantage of these very, very robust tax benefits. But let's imagine we take the average Australian worker
average
today
Australian
with an
worker.
average income of 82,436 Australian dollars. Now,
So 58
this
USD.
is already very high, but more importantly, what that means is straight away, this person is contributing $7,831 to a retirement account tax-free every year.
That's 1 month.
Now,
Hey.
if we assume that this person never gets a raise, not even to keep up with inflation, they are going to keep on contributing this $7,800 every year. This contribution over a 40-year career, when invested into an average superannuation fund generating 7% a year, will
Dang,
mean that these
7%?
investments will be worth $1.7 million
Yeah.
at the age of retirement. Now, accounting for projected inflation, this would only actually be worth about 1 million Australian dollars, but this is still a huge boost considering that a lot of
Yeah, that's
workers
not as good
would
as
not
it
find the self-discipline
sounded.
to
Yeah.
save and invest this money if it were
I mean, it
completely
helps a
up to them.
lot. $1 million helps a lot.
Now, the superannuation guarantee has been almost universally acclaimed as a great piece of national policy, but as with everything, it is not without fault.
Now, before we go on, so when I say $1 million, it helps out a lot. I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things of retirement. Like, my mom is 70. She retired like 2 years when the pandemic hit. She decided to just go ahead and retire at like 68, I think. I mean, technically she could retire at 65. She's a professor. She wanted to wait till she was a little bit older. She'd probably still be teaching if the pandemic never happened.
Mm-hmm.
She's just too old to learn how to, or to deal with teaching online.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, $1 million,
Will get you about 10 years
yes.
if you're living as comfortably as you'd want to, or how they do.
Yeah. So, and that's why my dad still works, and he's like 68 years old. My dad's a workaholic though, but that's my thought process. So $1 million gives you a good cushion, but not necessarily going to get you all the way through the end of your life.
Right.
Big piles of money like the $2.8
Especially in
trillion
Australia, I'm
dollars
guessing.
that Australians have invested in their superannuation funds attract certain unscrupulous business practices. In fact, the entire superannuation industry has been under a royal commission, which is the Commonwealth equivalent of a congressional inquiry, overcharging their customers too much for fees and services associated with their superannuation funds. Since most Australians don't pay too much attention to their superannuation accounts until they approach retirement age, these charges were more or less going unnoticed and making these companies very, very rich in the
That's
meantime.
dirty.
Another downside is that these super accounts are locked away from Australians until they are 60 years old. So, while a middle-aged Australian might have a net worth of a few $1 million on paper, most of that could be inaccessible
That's
to them
crazy,
to
you
improve
can't
their
even
quality
touch
of
it.
life in any way at all until they turn 60. Despite all of these concerns, Australia...
A question: if you pass away before you're 60, does that money get? Is it given to your next of kin, your spouse, your children?
I would
And in that scenario, is it just put in their account
tax free.
as say an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old kid that is legal of age?
To just go
Like, do they get it immediately, or does it go into their account and they have
For
to
their
wait
retirement.
until they're 60?
Well, to be
It'd
fair,
be
that'd
really-
make it a lot easier when you
Would
retire.
be really terrible if your genes are just so terrible that like everybody in your family dies
And
at
that
like
last
45.
person that's waiting gets like $50 million in retirement. It's
Yeah.
like, I can't wait. And then like a week later, they're dead.
Yeah. So like if I pass away at 59 years old.
And keep in mind, when he's talking about $1 million, that's like 600 USD. Because he was talking $1 million Australian.
Right.
So that's like 600 grand USD.
Yeah.
So that's a lot less than.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It really has earned its title as the
I don't know if
lucky
that's the
country.
actual
Australians are the
exchange
wealthiest
rate.
people on the planet because of good policy, which has forced them into doing what every personal finance book ever has told people to do. Their beautiful country continues to attract people and businesses from across the planet, boosting their local economy.
That is so gorgeous.
So
That is.
much on you, beautiful Australians. Enjoy your giant piles of money,
just
and
called
we
us
will call it even
Australians.
for you having to deal with all of those
Thanks.
snakes and
Yeah.
spiders.
We feel like we'd get along with most of
Thank-
them.
Yeah. Not the spiders though.
No, not
I'm
so
a
much.
weenie. I can't do. He can't do spiders.
Dude, you call yourself a weenie? What is that? Yeah, you changed that statement real
He
quick.
can't do spiders.
Not at all.
When he was
Like,
my when we were roommates and he'd go out on the balcony for something, he'd come in like screaming like a little girl, freaking out, saying, "Miles, I need you to come kill this spider for me." And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
He
And
cleared out
he's
the
like
whole
10
balcony
years
for me.
older than me, and he comes in. I need you to come kill this
14
spider
years older
for me.
than you.
14 years older, and like I'd go grab the spider spray, okay? Because
Oh, this is the worst though.
I'd go grab
It
the
is
spider
so
spray.
bad.
And I'd hand it to him, and he'd be like, "No, you go spray him."
It's
I'm like,
so
"Are you
bad.
serious?"
It's worse
Now,
when you spray them. It's
it
worse.
is
They
eerie.
rain.
It is eerie because, like, on our balcony, like it was, like the ceiling was covered with them. So, if you started from the front of the ceiling and then just walked your way back, all the way to the back, then you'd slowly see like 10 spiders. 10 more spiders,
Like,
and they'd all they're
rappelling
dead.
down,
They're
dead.
dead, but they're still attached to their webs, and they're just falling down.
Oh,
He's feeling spiders
oh
now.
my gosh.
But yeah,
dude.
no, I mean,
my hair's
hundreds.
like on my neck, and I'm like feeling the spider.
Hundreds of little baby spiders would just be dropping down from above you. So it was eerie,
We need to change the subject.
and I don't like spiders. Like if I saw a spider on me, I'd be like, "Fuck off, spider," frig off. Or like if one was on my shoulder, I'd flick it,
I just scream like a man,
This guy,
cry maybe a little bit, probably jump off the balcony if it was in the balcony. Yeah, it wouldn't go well. Let me put it that way. I am not a good Mexican.
no, Mexicans would like eat spiders.
They'll like get off me, or
Vato.
they work with their hands, or they're good with labor type stuff. I'm like, who do I pay to take care of this?
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, we absolutely loved it. It was interesting.
It was kind of
Some
slow,
of the
but it was
stats
good.
seemed a little far-fetched. Let us know if we're wrong on that.
There were so
Don't know
many
why my
stats
arm's
that
still
didn't
up in
make
the air.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just misunderstood how
We're
he was
stupid,
speaking.
and that's why we make less than Australia.
There you go. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It helps it get out to more people. If you want to see our future videos, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll be notified when those videos drop. And if you want to support us directly, hit the join button. And with that being said,
My name's Miles.
and my name is Fez.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace.
Out. Australia. Good eye.
Good eye.
Reacting.
Right.
Good eye. Australia.
Australia.
Australians
Australia.
are the richest people in the world.
No, that was bad.
I gotta do it fast and then I'll get
Australians are the richest
Let me do it.
people
Let me
in the
do it.
world.
it. You sound like a pirate.
Australians are the richest people in the world.
Shut up. Let's do this.